When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, what's up, Boise State fans? Welcome to Las Vegas. We're kicking off Mountain West Media Days coverage a little early this week. BJ Rains with you from Bronco Nation News here at BroncoNationNews.com. It's Monday, and that means John Mallory is with us for his weekly Mondays with Mallory segment. Johnny, what shirt you got? What's the shirt game today? That's what everybody really wants to see.
The return. This is when Ken Griffey Jr. returned to the Mariners for the 2008 season, I believe. I bought this shirt when I went to one of the games. So
there you go.
It's fun to be a Mariner fan right now, and you cannot always say that.
Is it 14 in a row? 14 in a row going into the only thing that can stop them is the All-Star break. But we got what I'm hoping is Rodriguez and Pujols in the finals of the Derby tonight. Let's make it happen.
Let's make that happen.
I'm excited. I bet you're going to watch tonight because you got a guy in there. When your team has a guy in the Derby, it's always a little more exciting to watch tonight. So
I always watch Home Run Derby. It's on a Monday, always in mid-July. So there's not much to compete with it. You go home, you put some dogs on the grill, and you watch Home Run Derby. I watch it pretty much every year. Last year I won money on Pete Alonso winning it, like a couple.
You know what?
I
am in Las Vegas a little early, and there's not much to wager on, so I think I will be partaking in some wagering for the Home Run Derby tonight here in Vegas legally, of course, as I'm sure your wagers were too.
Oh, yeah.
There's some good odds, man. My guy Pujols is like 2,600 or something to win. I may have to put $20 down on that.
Throw a couple bucks on it.
If you want me to get your Mariners guy for you, let me know, man. We'll make it happen. But
I already got my bet in.
The real bet that I want to make is at 3:00 today. I can legally and ethically bet on a Boise State related game. 3:00 today. Do they have odds, you think, for the tournament?
I bet they do in Las Vegas. I bet TBT odds are up there. We'll see. Yeah,
I gotta find one. We have the tournament. We're gonna talk Tim Plow. We're gonna talk Boise State Media Days, which is coming up this week, Mountain West Media Days. But I do want to start with the tournament. They play today. We've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. And by the way, Johnny, they're trying to get a regional in Boise next year. That may happen. That kind of leaked out over the weekend with some of the players talking about it. So we may get a TBT regional.
I'd go to that.
That'd be kind of fun.
I'd go.
All right, so some highlights. Let's see a few highlights. This was the game on Saturday. They have the game tomorrow, or today, at 3:00. I thought it would be fun to check some of the highlights from the game. Current team against the former team. They were playing. And here's Tyson Degenhardt kicking it out to Chibuzo Agbo from Texas Tech. The transfer hits the three. Johnny, I think fans would love to see a lot of that.
I heard that Chibuzo Agbo might have been the best player on the floor for Boise State during this scrimmage, and he's going to have a heck of a time here. It looks like, BJ. They really like what he adds to this team. We're talking what we can see in a double-digit scorer next year for this team. They're going to need that, but this is a really cool thing that these two teams were able to play.
Hold on, I got to cut you off here because here's Derek Marks going into the current team's huddle. I thought this was really cool. Derek Marks went into the current team's huddle to draw up something on a clipboard. He saw they were doing something with ball screens, so Derek Marks basically asked Leon if he could talk to the team, and he went back in the huddle and started drawing stuff up on the whiteboard. He's going to be a coach someday. It wouldn't shock me if he ends up on Leon's staff at some point when his playing career is over. And then later in the game, there were too many guys being quiet, and he ran all the way to the other end of the floor to Coach Rice, who was standing near me, and he's like, I don't hear your point guards. I don't hear your point guards. They're too quiet. They're too quiet. And he was kind of getting on guys a little bit. So what an experience to talk about for the former players to come back and be practicing again. But for these current players to be having Derek Marks, talking to him, playing with him, Ryan Watkins, all these guys were out there. I mean, it was a pretty cool thing for both sides.
nobody's happier in that gym than Leon Rice, right? Leon's just loving this, isn't he? And Derek Marks is like, hey, coach, let me coach him up. Or Derek Marks will be a tattletale, if you will, and go to Leon and say, hey, Leon, your point guards are too quiet. Get him up. Leon loves hearing that. And this is what Leon had with Mark Few with Gonzaga all those years. High-level players coming back, working with the current kids. So this is a wonderful treat for Boise State basketball, and hopefully the TBT, this once a Bronco team, BJ, hopefully this becomes an annual thing, and we'll see guys who are on the team right now in 2-3 years be on the once a Bronco team. I would love to see that.
No doubt about it. A couple more quick highlights as we get back to this. Remember Kevin Allen? I don't know if that was when your time was here, Johnny. He was a JUCO player. Didn't play much of anything at Boise State, but Kevin Allen comes in. He had a stretch here where Lucas Milner going up for the layup. Kevin Allen rejects him, and they go down to the other end. Quick fast break. They get it back to Allen, scores, and is fouled. That was a nice play there. Leon Rice called timeout. Actually, he wasn't loving the effort of the current team here. You got Tyson Degenhart in the paint, hitting a shot there. They're going to try next year maybe to see if they can have this open for fans. Sell some tickets maybe for charity or to help pay for the expenses for the TBT team. But it was a cool time. Thomas Bro play on one end, knocking in a three, and then talking some trash to the bench. Then they come down to the other. They come down to the other end, and I think Max Rice hits a bucket here. So it was a pretty cool thing. Like I said, they're going to try to, Max Rice drives, hits a little floater in the paint. There were a couple players missing from this game. You didn't have Marcus Schaefer Jr. You didn't have, there's a three-pointer from Tyson Degenhart. There were a couple of guys missing from this game, but let's listen in.
Set us up for life, man. So, we love Boise, and we happy to be back, and we're going to try to build this each and every year, bring back more alumni so y'all can get more information, and, so we can compete. But it was great. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, appreciate y'all for real, man.
There was about 5 minutes there, Johnny, which I thought was really cool at the end, where Watkins and Bro Play and Marks all kind of just gave some words of wisdom and talked to the players, and I thought it was really cool for them to get that opportunity and talking about what Boise State meant to them. And even when you're at home, work on hip work or dribbling work or whatever, and trying to lay the foundation. And then they had a barbecue over at Coach Rice's house after that, where they got to mingle some more and do all that. And that kind of finished up the week of practices, and then now the team will head down yesterday. Thomas Bro Play was in the three-point shootout last night, and they'll have the game. There's 4 games there today. They're the second game of the day in the Albuquerque Regional, and it's they're the 7 seed. They're playing the 2 seed, Archie Goodwin, former Kentucky player. Some other guys are on the other team, so unfortunately, not great odds. But you don't have Anthony Drimmick, you don't have James Webb, you don't have Jessup. It's probably nothing against those guys. The best 10-man alumni roster you could form right now, but they had to get it off the ground. You had to get the first year in. And like I said, my understanding is they work out the kinks this year, see what happens today, and then next year maybe host a regional in Boise and get some more of the prominent players back.
I would wonder if there's upsets in TBT. I would think there would be. I mean, that's got to be hard to seed these teams, right? Whoever does it, you're just eyeballing it. There's really not much frame of reference there that you have. I'm not going to be surprised if that Boise State once a Bronco team wins today over Archie Goodwin and those guys. High-level player, obviously, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see. The worst thing about it is, and maybe it's the best thing about it too, if that makes sense, is that it is a one-and-done tournament, BJ. You don't get a pool play. You're not guaranteed 2-3 games. You do all this stuff, and if you lose that one, 48-minute game, 40-minute game, however long it is, you're out, man. That's it.
Yep, no doubt about it. So it should be fun, and we'll have to see if I can find a line on that game. Why not? But let's hear one quote from Derek Marks talking about being back and what it means to be here.
It means a lot. For me, this is where everything started for me as far as my playing professional career. And, it's always special coming back, especially being with so many people that I reached different heights with. So it's always good to come back and see Coach Rice. It's my guy right here, man. It's my guy.
It's good to have the legends back.
Too, man.
You guys can learn a lot from these guys.
It's good to see him. Yeah, so that's exactly why it's so good to be back.
And that was there was another moment that I kind of eavesdropped on, Johnny, where Leon took Derek into the practice facility and they'd updated kind of the mural with all the former players on the wall, and they were looking and laughing at guys and bro play, and then we're all laughing together. And like I said, it's cool for the current players to do this, but I think for the alumni, when you're a Derek Marks and you leave Boise State in 2015, you don't ever think you're going to be back practicing in the blue and orange practice gear on the practice court, hanging out in the locker room again. So it's pretty cool. And regardless of what happens today, for those guys to have that time back in Boise this week, I think was beneficial for both sides. And like I said, they're going to try to get the fans a little more involved next year, as kind of thrown together last minute, maybe with a public scrimmage or something like that.
They should put those murals. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been in that building too, but it's not open to the public. They should put those murals inside Extra Mile Arena when fans walk in, to have all that history there. That would be a beautiful thing. Hopefully they go in that direction. Think about it if you're Max, right? You're Max Rice. You're 13, 14, 15 when Derek Marks and Bro Play and Watkins were here balling. And now you're 21, 22, and you're playing with them. Like legitimately playing with them, not just farting around before practice, trying to score on each other, that type of thing. Like you're legitimately playing in a game with these guys. That must have been a trip down memory lane for Max. And obviously, again, you love, Leon. Nobody's happier in this thing than Leon. He loves it when these guys come back. He's such a fun, social coach who loves all his players so much. It's a lot of love going on down there with that Boise State basketball team. And good luck to the Once a Bronco roster today.
That scrimmage seems special. Jay says, Kurt says, go Broncos. So yeah, that's 3:00 today, and it is on ESPN 3. So it's free, but you got to stream it online on the ESPN website or on their app on your smartphone. But it is free. ESPN 3. You can check it out on today at 3:00, and I'm sure you guys will. JP will be updating the score probably during the show today, and they're one of the regionals is already done in New York, so they've already got there's less than 64 teams actually left at this
point. Park.
Yep, that was pretty cool doing it outside. So let's switch gears and talk some football. But first, I want to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. Boise Dentistry Co. Check them out. Locations across the Treasure Valley, full of family dentistry and wellness. So your kids, your entire family, one-stop shop there at Boise Dentistry Co. You can check them out online. Dr. Chris Meinert and his staff just do a tremendous job and make it fun to go to the dentist. So check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. I am now a client of United Commercial Insurance. Bronco Nation News is working with them for our workers' comp insurance, some of the other insurance options out there. And I can tell you from experience, it was quick and it was easy and it was done in a day or two, all with a couple of emails. You fill out a quick form, they talk to you real quick, and it's done. So if you're a business owner or you help run the insurance for your business, check them out, United Commercial Insurance, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The phone number there, 229-8222. Ask for Brandon. And again, you may think you have good business insurance, but one quick call could save you hundreds of dollars like it did for us at Bronco Nation News. And we appreciate United Commercial Insurance. Ridley's Family Markets as well. Check them out, shopridleys.com. Locations across the Treasure Valley, 13 Idaho locations. They got the at-home shopping, the Skip app, the home delivery, all that great stuff. So check them out. Find the location near you at shopridleys.com. All right, we're down to the final two storylines of the football season, Johnny. We're going to do number 2 today, and then we've got number 1 tomorrow with Prater. Prater's actually jumping in tomorrow on a Tuesday.
Nice.
But Tim Plow, I thought you'd be a good one to I'm glad it worked out this way, where our number 2 storyline can be Tim Plow, because I know you've got some feelings on Tim Plow, as many of Bronco Nation has feelings on Tim Plow. He's came in with high hopes, talked about hanging half a hundy. It only happened one time. A lot of fans, right away were expecting the offense just to go crazy. It never really happened. You can point to a lot of reasons. The offensive line. You can point to there's a lot of different reasons why the running back's getting hurt. But in the end, it was, Johnny, statistically one of the worst offenses Boise State has had in a long time. Do you know the last time they only averaged 29.2 points per game?
Yeah, I think it was 96.
98.
98. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
The average 29.2, lowest scoring total since 1998. That was 59th in the country. And don't forget last year, in the 2020, they were not great offensively either. They averaged 381 yards per game last year. which was actually an improvement over the 349 the year before, but 2 straight years under 400 yards of offense. That hadn't happened in well more than a decade. They were 79th in total offense, John. I mean, that's just not something we're used to seeing.
No.
79th in total offense. This is an offense that averaged 500 yards a game, in less than a decade ago, and they're averaging, 380. And, like I said, not even in the top half of the country or right at half in scoring as well. There's a lot of pressure on Tim Plough in year 2, and that's the number 2 storyline for us going into the season. Can Tim Plough get this offense back on track?
Yeah, and I think it was a number of things. I agree with you. For a chef in the kitchen, right, to put the proper meal together needs the proper ingredients. And I don't think Tim Plough had all the proper ingredients last year, and it was part injuries. There were some games that Tim Plough told us that, the defense was playing so well that it was just the best case situation for the entire team, for the offense to maybe play at a slower pace, to get out of there and get a win. Tim Plough said that happened a couple times. Sometimes the defense, how well they're playing, will dictate in the second half what an offense is going to do. So there were a lot of factors there, but Tim Plough knows this. He signed up for it. He talked to us all the time. He's the first guy to say, yeah, I wasn't as good as I could have been last year, as I should have been, and I need to get a lot better. And I think he will. I think the ingredients, BJ, I go back to the chef analogy. It's going to make me hungry. Excuse me. He has better ingredients this year. I think the offensive line is going to be better with KHG back at center and the new tackle, and there's more experience across the board there. Yeah, George Holani, let's say he plays well and he's healthy this year. Great. Wide receivers, Boise State's always done a good job of developing wide receivers. I know Shaq's not there, but look at what they've done in the past when the big receiver will leave. Somebody always steps up. And I think the offense will be better this year. I think the schedule is going to be easier for them too, for this offense to get better. So now all this talk about Tim Plough, year 2, all this stuff, can he do it? Should he be gone? Now you get to play football. We're going to have a game here in a few weeks, right? And then it's going to be, hey, should he stay or should he go? This is a very important season for Tim Plough. I'll just tell you, in my opinion, if last season somehow, some way closely, if last season
resembles this
season, yes. I don't think Tim Plough gets a year 3.
I think a lot of fans would agree with you, and you're probably right about that if the offense is as bad. But what I would say is, and I think you touched on it, but I think a big point is Bachmeier, same quarterback, same coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a lot going on. I remember that first game against Central Florida. They should have won that game against UCF, but Bachmeier kept handing it off, and they kept getting stuffed in the second half, and there was a couple things where Tim Plough didn't want to throw him under the bus. But it takes a while to learn when to hand off, when to keep it, the reads. I mean, this is a very complex offense that Tim Plough runs. And so I think that, Hank Bachmeier finally having the same coordinator 2 years in a row, Tim Plough having this offense with the same quarterback 2 years in a row. You were there with me the day we talked to Hank Bachmeier in the spring. He talked more about, instead of having to learn the entire new offense, now he's just kind of tweaking things and learning small pieces. And he said it's light years different in terms of his mental aspect of learning this offense. So I think that's going to be a huge thing, and why I think I know Prater expects huge things. I believe you do too, at least expect an improvement from the offense. And I think one of those reasons, you mentioned the O-line, KHG. Remember last year, all the snapping problems, there were bad snaps. Bachmeier's, running for the life to pick up the ball at the end zone. You can't run a play that Tim Plough would say they couldn't even get into some of their plays because they couldn't catch, they had to. Yeah. Bachmeier's worried about making sure the snap doesn't go out of the end zone for a safety. So I think that's part of it. They had 3 different centers that each started 3 games last year. There was musical chairs on the O-line. So you get KHG back. You get Cade Beresford at the other tackle spot. You got John Ojukwu back. So both your tackles you feel pretty good about. And I think the O-line should be a lot better. And then it's, somebody said it here too, Dayton Robinson, you mentioned it as well, George Holani. I think the offense gets back on track. Biggest key is Holani needs to be healthy. Perry says it all boils down to the players performing. Play calling has something to do with it, but it is injuries. It is guys all of a sudden, doing things. And of course, you already have the real thing. People have calling for Taylen Green already. You've got Big Wade here, Johnny, saying Vidlak is the answer. So for whatever reason, some people, at least on our chats, aren't huge Bachmeier fans, but I do think this will be the best year of Bachmeier's career for a lot of reasons. And I think that means if Bachmeier has a big year, that means Tim Plow's offense is going to have a big year.
I absolutely agree with you. This will be Hank Bachmeier's finest season as quarterback at Boise State. He's been here. He just knows the lay of the land, like you said, with some continuity with this offense and the schemes that Tim Plow wants to run and the talent around him. Also throw in the fact that he's not going to be playing with a torn, meniscus for half the season, BJ? I mean, Hank played hurt last year. Doesn't get any credit from the fan base for doing that, by the way. None. So, yeah, I agree with you. This will be his best year. Tim Plow is focused, okay? You know how I know this? I was driving on Chinden, and Tim Plow was right next to me, and we were at a stoplight, okay? And I'm looking over, trying to wave him down, giving him a couple honks. Hey, coach.
You would.
Coach,
you would.
Coach. And he wouldn't look at me. He was like 10-2, doing his thing. He wasn't singing a song. He was solo in his rig, and he was just staring straight ahead. And I'm like, dude, coach, like me and Plow are cool, man. We'll text back and forth sometimes and stuff. I'm like, come on, man. He wouldn't give me even a look. I don't know if he thought I was some fan that was going to say, hey, screw you, man. But no, he's focused. I love it, man. Tim Plow and Hank, too. They're kind of in this thing together, it feels like. If they both have good seasons, Boise State scoring 35, 40 points per game, getting those numbers up, winning double-digit victories, 10, 11 regular season victories, people, I think, will get off Tim Plow's back fairly quick. And I think a lot of people might be honest and say, hey, my bad. Yeah, I wanted him out. I didn't like him after year one, but obviously it's different. He's proven me wrong, and go BSU. I think there will be a lot of those people, too, that say, you know what? Okay, I get you. I was a little harsh, a little quick to act and want him out. No, he's fine. Let's keep this thing going. They should have beat UCF, like I told you, or like you told me early on. Tyreek Jones picks that thing off at the end of the first half. I don't think UCF ever gets back into it, but why? A lot of water under that bridge.
I think Tim Plow just moved up on a lot of people's lists. He was ignoring you at the stoplight, so I think
didn't look over, bro.
Did it?
On Chinden, I was headed to Memorial Stadium for a Boise Hawks game. I don't know where he was going, but just kind of on that stretch there at a stoplight.
I love it. I'm going to tell Tim Plow thank you next time I see him for giving you the cold shoulder there.
Come on, man. I mean, yeah, he wouldn't.
Hey, the Blue and Orange Store. Check them out online, theblueandorangestore.com. You can wear the same polos that Tim Plow and the coaches are wearing there on the sidelines, all the new official Nike gear, the coaches' apparel. You can check it out, theblueandorangestore.com. And if you go online, you get free shipping on an order over $40. So go online, make your order, get free shipping. If you're in Boise, you can go check them out. The Blue and Orange Store is at the Boise Town Square Mall, and it's right next to Pro Image. Check out Timberstone Golf Course as well. If you got some time for in an evening after work or on a Saturday, or heck, take a day off work, go play some golf. Play Timberstone.com. Tee times are available. It's the best greens in the valley. Just a beautiful course. Tad and Kelly do a tremendous job out there. So play Timberstone.com. You may even see some Boise State players out there. They had some NIL deals and things going on. So check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. And, of course, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small. Matt will help you buy or he'll help you sell. Just check him out, BauscherRealEstate.com. What do you think is the pressure is on Tim Plow, Johnny? The fans, some just are not going to come around. But, I mean, in that first game against Oregon State, if they start out with a 3-and-out or 2 3-and-outs, or it takes a little time to get going, I mean, there's going to be fans right away going, oh, same offense, Tim Plow. He's kind of in a no-win spot here. I mean, if they don't score 50 points every game this season, he's going to have the haters. I mean, what do you make just of him? You know, you mentioned him maybe being out of a job if they have the same year next year, and I think that's certainly a viable option. But what do you make just of the pressure on Tim Plow and the fans wanting to see results and what that dynamic is going to be like this season?
Yeah, Tim Plow knows this. He's got to deliver, man. This team can't go 7-5 again, or a lot of members of this staff probably won't get to be around for when they get back to winning 10, 11, 12 regular season games like Boise State has done often in the past. Coach Avalos is not going to be a patient man, in my opinion, on a lot of this stuff. But I also happen to think they are going to win 9, 10, 11 games this season. I like where this team is going into the season. I like their schedule. I like how the Mountain West, it doesn't seem like it's going to be historically good this year, like, say, last year where you had 4 different teams win 10-plus games. I don't know if you get that number of teams winning 10-plus this year. So I think it's there for Tim Plow to be had. I think, the piñata's hanging. He puts the blindfold on, give him that big stick, and I think this year he's going to find that sucker. And a lot of candy is going to come out on the blue, and Boise State fans are going to be happy with this thing again. I really do believe that. Now, yeah, there's nothing Tim Plow is going to be able to do early on, like your scenario. Yeah, the first game against Oregon State, they go 3 and out 2 straight times. Maybe the Beavers get a field goal. They're up 3-0 at the end of the first quarter, and Boise State's offense has 12 yards. People on Twitter are going to say, same old Tim Plow. I'm done with him. I want him out at halftime. They will say that. Tim Plow, he clears the mechanism. He doesn't listen to that anymore. He did last year, and he understood it. Like, that's what I like about Tim Plow. Like, he admits it. He gets it. He knows what this job requires. He knows the numbers that you have to put up if you're a Boise State OC. So I think he had a long offseason, BJ. I think he's dotted every I and crossed every T. And I think he's just going to go out there this season and say, screw it. We're going to let it rip. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And he has a 4-year starting quarterback coming back, right? Even if Hank isn't the best quarterback in the league, he is the most experienced quarterback in this league. And that means something in college football. And I can't talk about the O-line enough. I really do believe they're going to have one of the top offensive line units in the Mountain West, and that's going to help. And Helani's going to be healthy. And you're right, they're not going to be in 2nd and 18 because the snap went over Hank's head. Then all of a sudden you're scrambling. You can't run what you wanted to run. You're going into a drive, and Tim Plow has all this stuff scripted. He knows what he's running on first down, and if he gets the yardage he wants on that play, he knows what play he's going to call on second down. But if you're snapping the ball over the quarterback or can't handle some of the stupid stuff that was happening with this offense last year, completely changes the game plan. And throw in the fact that the defense, like I said earlier, was playing well last year. So there's certain games you're like, hey, let's not let this offense maybe mess something up. Let's play conservative and let's win this game. That is the most important thing. Tim Plow talked about several occasions where, they held things back a little bit because the defense was playing so well and they had a 10-point lead or whatnot. So it's a huge storyline, this offense getting back to the ways of Boise State. And they're not ready. They're not going to throw Andy under the bus. We know that. I mean, this is not going to be Andy's problem until there's another coordinator that comes here and still has problems, right? It's going to be Plow has to go first, bring somebody else in, but Tim Plow's going to do everything he can not to have that happen this year, BJ.
Yep. I agree.
Back.
I agree. I think everything you said is spot on, but I think the offense will be much better this year. We appreciate all the comments coming in. We'll try to get to a couple of them real quick. I think the offense will be better. Everyone should be healthy. A year of experience won't hurt. Perry says we need to set the tone at Oregon State. Big Wade, high hopes for Plow and Hank. Certainly all pieces are there. Time will tell. Dayton chiming in, agreed. If the offense come out firing in Corvallis, the offense should be rolling into the San Diego State game. Yeah, that Oregon State game is big for a lot of reasons. You got a couple cupcakes after that. You could go on a winning streak here, and that would certainly be big moving forward. And of course, Kurt wants them to run the wishbone with Taylen Green. We'll see a little bit of Taylen Green probably. But, Johnny, and the last thing here, I'm already in Las Vegas, as I said. You can see the
that's awesome,
the strip over my shoulder here. There's the not the Space Needle. What do they call it here? The
stratosphere.
The stratosphere. There you go.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So, but you can see the strip behind me. So, came down a few days early, and we'll have full coverage. Bob's coming down for KTIK 95.3 the tickets. So you guys will have interviews and live reports on the show all week as well. But what for you are you hoping to hear? I mean, Commissioner Thompson's going to do his big address on Wednesday morning to kick things off. But what for you is just your general storylines or thoughts on media days this week as we wrap this up?
Yeah, I like some of the storylines through this season. I think what my biggest thing with the Mountain West this year, who's going to win the league? I don't know. I'm not here to say, Boise State, it's Boise State and everybody else. It's not. San Diego State's got a good football team. Fresno loves what's going on there in the Central Valley. Utah State's like, We're the defending conference champions over here, and our quarterback's back. Why is anybody talking about us over here, right? And then, obviously, Boise State's just the flagship program, in my opinion, for football in this league. There's just a lot of good, cool questions. We don't know. It's open this year, BJ, isn't it? That's my biggest storyline with the Mountain West is, we don't know. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's see who can take this thing. And, yeah, it's going to be a fun season for the Mountain West. I like where the league is, but obviously you want to figure out what the future is going to be. I know Craig Thompson's going to get a lot of those questions about adding or possibly losing teams, whatnot. But for me, it's just like, man, I don't know. I know who the favorites are in each division, I guess, but it's going to be a competitive. I didn't even mention Air Force. They won 10 games last year, BJ. It's just like there's a lot of teams that really do think they have a chance to win this league, and maybe that will come with a Cotton Bowl invite, right?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, again, Bob will be have you guys covered on 95.3 The Ticket. Bronco Nation News will be live as well. Morning shows Wednesday and Thursday live in the morning from the Mandalay Bay for the Media Days. We'll have some other live interviews as well. So, down here all week, Mountain West Media Days, and we appreciate you guys for checking it out. Johnny, thanks for your time as always. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, Lithia Ford, Idaho Central Credit Union, of course, rowpaint.com as well. And we will we'll be listening this week, Johnny, and we'll be talking to you soon, man. Appreciate your time.
Enjoy Vegas, man. I'm jealous. Get after it, BJ. Love your coverage at Bronco Nation News as always. Thank you.
Have a great day, folks. If news breaks, we'll be back earlier. If not, we'll talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Mike Prater will make a rare Tuesday appearance tomorrow and help us hit the number one storyline and talk about media days as well. So have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.